Groovesters, welcome to this Groove Digital Presents. My name is Tom Beal. I'm the host of GDP, and you are in for a special treat today. We always have amazing guests on, but this guest I was fortunate to cross paths with at the Grooveplex just a few weeks ago for the Collective Mastermind, and she presented there to the live audience in studio and the audience tuning in from around the world, and everybody was taking notes, asking questions, learning things that dramatically were impactful in helping them grow their business. So you're in for a treat. But I'll make a proper introduction prior to kicking this off. But go over to the chat if you can. In the chat for where you can interact with us. It's not the chat actually. It's in the questions box. So go over to the questions box if you can, and please let us know where you're joining in from. I'm coming to you from St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands today. We were just discussing how normally I have a green screen and all this, but welcome to my cottage in St. Thomas. Trust me, behind the screen here is an amazing view of an island that the owner of Google, Larry Page, owns called Hans Lala. It's amazingly beautiful. And Christina was sharing her amazing view that she might get to here in a little bit as well. But do us a favor, go over to the questions box, let us know where you're joining in from. And by the way, as you're interacting with Christina today, that's where you'll be able to tune in, where she can see your responses and you can have your questions asked. So okay, good. I see it's working. That's always a side benefit of asking you to do things is when we see people doing it, we know that you can hear us, you can see us. So thumbs up to technology working. We're good to go. So I see Jerry is here from Seattle. Welcome, Jerry. Seattle, Washington in the house. Awesome. And I see a whole bunch of other Groovesters from around the world checking in here, but we're going to get right to this meat. You're going to love today's presentation because Christina, his nickname is Blue. You might picture by her beautiful image there, the blue hair, the blue background. She loves blue. I'm guessing it's her favorite color. Well, Christina Hooper is on a mission to revolutionize the entrepreneurial experience. She's all about changing the game for neurodivergent entrepreneurs. She knows it's all about understanding deeply, unlocking potential, and building businesses that aren't just successful, but are fulfilling. Super key. She's bringing together powerful and passionate mentors in a space where differences are strengths, where every challenge is a chance to innovate, and where everyone gets to live their best life through the journey of entrepreneurship. What I also love about her is she doesn't pound her chest all that much. She delivers massive value. And basically, just like in Boca a few weeks back, she got right into the meat of it. And right away, you're going to be learning about things that when you listen, when you apply them and implement them in your business, it's a game changer. And we're not talking about the avatars, the blue avatars in the movie. We're talking about your ideal client avatars, right? So even though blue is your favorite color, we aren't talking about the blue avatars. So many people have a small grasping of avatars. You're going to learn in 9 simple steps how to really bring 3D avatars into your business. So Christina, it's an honor and pleasure to have you here again. It was great seeing you and learning from you a few weeks ago. Welcome to Groove Digital Presents.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to dive into all this today. Like you said, I'm not like a chest thumper. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to get straight into it. So is everybody ready? Are we ready to go? All right, so my first question for everybody here is how many of you have created buyer personas or customer avatars before, right? I've done probably dozens or hundreds of these over the years, had clients that have 1 or 2 customer avatars all the way up to, I had one client that had like 12 at one point when I first came in. So drop it over in the questions. Have you created buyer personas or customer avatars before for your business? Okay, so I get to pop that in. Now, most people try to use avatars for a few different reasons. They try and use them to figure out who would buy your product or service, so you know what you're trying to sell. You're like, who is the best person to buy this from me? They use it to communicate to their team who their client is. So you're building websites, you're writing content, and you've got somebody on your staff that's going to help you with that, or you're trying to do it yourself and you're trying to understand how to communicate a little bit better. You might use them to find your competitors, try and figure out who else is selling something to my target clients, just like I am. Or you might have created it just because somebody told you that you should, so you did, right? Those are some of the really common reasons why people tend to try to use avatars. But lots of people are using avatars and other documentation tools incorrectly. So for example, business plans should be used to document the plan, right? It's not where you ideate and figure out what your business is going to be. You get on whiteboards, you pull out sticky notes, you brainstorm, you use diagrams, you go to town, you get creative. And then when you're done, you put all of the results of that into a business plan to share with investors or other people. Similarly, buyer journeys are the same way. They should be used to document the flow, not to design it, because whenever you're trying to work inside of those tools, it takes away from the creative process. You get creative, then you document the journey on how people become customers in your business. Avatars are the same way. They should be used to document relevant information about a campaign, not to design who your business is actually going to target. And that's because none of these are business design tools. And most people don't even realize that business design is a thing. So what is it? My approach as a business designer is all about guiding you in building and growing businesses, partnerships, and investments all aligned with who you are now, as well as your goals in the future. Because let's face it, almost every business model, business tactic, business strategy works for somebody. But the thing that worked for a person who is like single, no kids, working full time in their business is not necessarily going to work for somebody who has a spouse, who has a couple of kids, who is constantly drained on their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual energy tanks, right? We have to do things a little bit differently based on where they are now and where they're trying to go. I've had clients that were dreaming of retiring to a little chicken farm out in the woods, and that's their goal. Other ones want to travel and leave a legacy and help all 6 kids build their first homes, right? So where you are and where you want to go determines how we need to structure your businesses, your partnerships, your investments, which is why I focus on sustainable, scalable success through realistic planning and innovative customer-focused thinking. And that's why I'm going to give you a business design tool today that helps you pick up on 80% of your customer's journey that you're currently missing out on. All right. Now, I'm not going to diss on traditional customer avatars. If you guys are using them, they are very good for marketing. So if you know what you're trying to sell, you build up a landing page, a funnel, you do some social media posts, some email blasts to get people to buy your thing. That's what customer avatars are traditionally used for. That's what they were designed for you to take a little snippet of what your big customer journey is and to say, this is what is relevant for this campaign. But where they fail is they don't look at the big picture, right? So they're not useful when it comes to designing your businesses, designing your products, or designing your partnerships, because that's not what they were designed to do. That wasn't the point of them, okay? Your customer's life is so much bigger, and it's your job to step in everywhere that you can and make their journey faster, easier, and more successful over years or even decades. Right? Most of you are only looking at a tiny slice of their journey. You're looking at about 20%, something that they can complete in, say, 2 years to maybe 5 years, which means you're missing out on the rest. You're missing out on the 80%. Okay? What we want to do is capture the whole 100% of their journey across 10 to 25 plus years and have you participate in varying ways, right? Through partnerships, through campaigns, through multiple businesses, through your investments, through your products and services. Across that whole journey, you can make money on the whole 100% instead of just the 20. Does that sound exciting? Is that something you guys are in? Drop something in the questions over there and let us know. Do we want to jump straight in and get to work in this workshop? Right? Are you ready to jump in and get to work? Okay, cool. I am, yay. All right, so step 1, I want you to go grab your workbook so I can introduce you to Pam. You can go to grooveover.to/NSA and click on the buttons. We have it available in several different formats. You've got PDFs, you've got Google Docs, you've got a Canva version, whatever works for you. Or you can even just grab a pen and paper and follow along that way as well. It's pretty simple little exercises that we're going to go through. If you're having any trouble with this, just drop something in the questions and we'll see if we can make sure that you get the link. All right. This PAM stands for Progressive Avatar Matrix, and it helps you see your customer's life journey so that you can fall more in love with your customers than you are with your products, okay? So what I mean by that is your customers are growing, evolving, and changing over time. There's things that they're doing as they hit new milestones. There's things that are impacting them in their industry, in their business, in their life. And if we're paying attention to that, if we're talking to the humans, if we're designing our products and services to serve them, instead of the products, then we're going to be able to adapt. We're going to be able to change. Most of you are familiar probably with Blockbuster back in the day. They were more in love with their product than they were with their customers. So when the industry changed and customers asked for something different, they didn't adjust. They didn't change. They didn't tweak. And because of that, they went under, right? Somebody said to send the link, please. Let me go.
And Christina, I did put it in the chat. If they scroll to the chat, the link is there in the chat. You can go to the workbook and it's clickable inside the chat. So thank you.
Yay, there we go. Tom's got you covered. Whoop, whoop. All right, everybody a second to go grab that. All right. All right, once you've got it, drop a yes, got it, something in the chat so we know everybody's got it. Or in the questions. I'm gonna keep saying chat, meaning questions. All right.
To everybody inside the questions as well. So I replied all to Due that asked to all. So all of you will see it in the questions and or in the chat. And you can click to download I just did it to the Google Doc so I can put text in as she trains, or you can get the PDF and print it, whichever you prefer.
Yep, there you go. Tom's got you covered, guys. All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and move into the next question while you guys are getting that opened up so we can start on the first exercise. All right, so this first one is where we're going to talk about who our client is over time. So you're answering the question, my hero is, with this type of structure, the type of person that wants this thing so they can achieve whatever awesomeness they're out to do. Now, if you have multiple target clients in your business, for the purposes of this exercise, I want you to pick one. I want you to pick the one that if you were surrounded by this client all day, every day, you would be in your happy place, right? You would enjoy what you're doing. You would like coming to work every day. You would be able to get the best results for them. So I just want you to pick one. You can always refine this more later, so it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of times people get hung up on the wording. This is a resource that you're going to use. It's not getting published like out into the web. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be brain vomit. It is okay. Whatever comes into your brain, you can put it in. And I want you to focus on the big picture, the big dreams that they have that could take them 20 plus years to achieve, okay? This is one person going through 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years of their life. 20 years from now, what kind of awesomeness are they going to achieve? And I'm going to give you guys an example. Click down here. There we go. So here's an example. My hero is a passionate, ambitious, misfit entrepreneur who wants to make a significant impact so they can leave a lasting legacy and share their success with others. So we're looking for who they are, what it is they want to do, and what the outcome of them doing that is going to be in the big picture. Okay. If anybody has any questions about this, please drop them in the questions panel. Feel free to drop what you put as well if you would like. Okay, give everybody a second to kind of jot that down. Again, really think about the big picture. That's probably the part where people really struggle with this exercise the most. We're really looking at 20 years from now, what is your target client really shooting for? What's their driving mission? What's the thing that they hope to do before they retire? Give everybody just a second on that one. What do you like? Jeopardy music, like do 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 do. All right. Once you're done with that, you're going to move into the next section on the same sheet. So we're still on workbook page 2. And we're going to brainstorm a little bit what that journey looks like. Now, most of you are usually selling currently to like levels 2 or 3. So that's kind of where you're at. So your target client's usually like 2 or 3. And then you're looking down at where they got started and you're looking forward towards level 5, 20, 25 years from now, when they have achieved their wildest dreams, what do they look like? And just put some thoughts here, just put some notes here. We're going to go in and we're going to refine each of these even more. And this, again, is something that's going to take them 10 to 25 years to complete. This is their journey, not yours. You don't have to help all of the levels. You may be saying like, well, I don't want to work with brand new startup businesses, for example. I only want to work with ones that have some proven success, have proven clients, have revenue, but your client still started as a beginning business. Their journey included that early stage, and we want to document that. Okay. What this allows us to do is to start identifying other people that could help. So for every stage, every level that you don't want to work with, that is somebody else's dream client. Somebody else loves the level 1s that you don't like, and you can partner with them. They're creating your ideal clients and you don't want theirs. Like you're probably generating leads that they could take right now, okay? Similarly, on the flip side, when we get to like level 4 and 5, sometimes people are like, I don't know how to help somebody who's a level 5. I don't have any services for that right now. That's okay. That's okay. You don't take clients that don't have the potential to be 4s and 5s. And most of the time, we're not going to be marketing to 5s. We're going to be creating them and celebrating with them. You're going to take clients usually somewhere in like the 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to elevate them into 4 and 5. So by the time you have clients that are 4s and 5s, you'll know better how to work with them. You'll have relationships with them. You'll be able to talk to them, and you'll be able to decide if you want to help them at those levels or not. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're going through this. And the other thing, I know if you guys have learned anything from Mike, one of the things that he talks about, one of the things that a lot of us will talk about, is we don't push parked cars. Okay, we're not going to take clients that don't have the potential to be 4s and 5s. We want clients that are goal focused, not drowning in where they're at and wallowing in their sorrows, not ready to move forward. So we're looking for clients who have the ability and desire to become level 4s and 5s. So we document them this way. It helps us our business in a lot of different ways. Now, let me give you some examples in case you're struggling with this a little bit. So like my ideal customer would spend decades on their journey. They start as a beginning business where they're really working towards being a successful freelancer. They're the thing they sell. They're working for all of their clients. They're wearing all the hats, chief bottle washer, line cook, all that thing. And they're doing everything themselves. Somewhere along the way, they decide that's not enough. They want to have more of their freedom back, still be able to make money. They're limited. They're the bottleneck in their own business. And they decide, I need to rethink some of this. And that's when they hit level 2. When they decide to rebuild their business, they go through and they think about everything again. Who's their target client? What are they trying to sell? Who are they to the person they're trying to sell? And they go through this whole big redesign, rebuild phase to relaunch their business. Then they decide, okay, well, now that I have all this ready, I need more clients, right? That's when they hit level 3. Instead of some scrappy outreach and some focus groups and some beta launches and things along those lines, they're ready to get like a consistent pipeline of new clients that they don't have to work so hard for all the time. So in level 3, that's what they're focused on. They're focused on marketing and messaging and optimizing their funnels. By level 4, they've created a new problem in their business where now we have the right products and services that are getting the outcomes, a steady lead of new clients, but now we have more clients than we can handle. So we're turning people away, we're putting people on a wait list. What do we do about it? We need to improve our operations. We have to be more efficient. We have to increase our profit margins. We need to hire people. We need to onboard and hire regularly. We need to level up our skill sets, et cetera, et cetera. So they're in the scale phase. Maybe they're forming new partnerships to help people, things along those lines. And then by level 5, they're phasing themselves out of their businesses, right? So they may have gone through 1 through 4 with multiple businesses, with a single business. And by level 5, they're not needed in the day-to-day. They've got clients coming in, they've got staff handling all the clients, and they're kind of doing whatever they want to do. This is their relax phase. Some people will sell their businesses and retire early. Some of them will put a CEO in place and will just spend some time, public speaking, traveling, more time off, things along those lines. But they're enjoying life. So this is one way. This is how my clients break down over 5 levels. And as you can see, that takes decades. You're not going to go from launching a business to retiring and relaxing from it in probably less than 10, 15 years, right? Even if you're amazing, even if you have all the resources, this is still a pretty big journey. I'll give you another example from a fractional COO client of mine. She helps empower entrepreneurs to achieve the time freedom, dream team, and emotional freedom to live the life they started the business for in the first place. Her people go through a similar process, right? They start off as a solo entrepreneur doing everything themselves. They are the main ones. Somewhere along the way, they start to outsource. They hire an assistant. They outsource a project or 2. They learn how to delegate at level 2. At level 3, they've started hiring some like regular staff members. They have like full-time employees that are on the business, on the payroll all the time. They have to meet those payroll obligations, learn how to fire people, that kind of thing. At level 4, they're hiring managers of managers, right? Level 4, they're hiring managers, excuse me. So they're not the one managing all their employees anymore. The managers report to them, and then the managers supervise the employees. At level 5, they're hiring managers of managers. So they're even further removed, and they're acting more as like the CEO of the business, driving the vision, driving the mission, but not in the day-to-day execution of getting everything done. So that's how her people evolve, and she can step in and help them at different levels. Give you another example here that is a investment coach. He guides investors on unlocking power, potential, and freedom to passively invest in real estate. His level 1 is somebody who's just educating, right? They're still just trying to understand what investing looks like, what the risks are, what they need to know, what they need to learn. Level 2 is starting to invest. They're really kind of playing it safe. They're doing some less risky investments. Level 3 is starting to mix their portfolio with a little bit of risk and non-risk and kind of getting that going. And they're going to have, you know, some ups and downs. They're liable to have too much risk and not enough safe bets. Level 4, they really get a healthy balance of a portfolio with risky things and non-risky things. And then level 5, they're able to leave their day job. They're able to be fully an investor, not doing anything else other than investing and really celebrating that life. So hopefully that gives you all a few examples. Is anybody stuck on what their 5 levels are? If you are, drop in the questions kind of what you're struggling with. Give everybody a second there. So at this point, you should have your My Hero Is statement and at least a gist of what each of your 5 levels is. Now we're going to dive in to each level and we're going to start to detail it out a little bit more. And this is where some of the aha moments really start to happen, because we're able to start seeing the types of products that we can create. We're able to see the partnerships that we can do. We're able to get some clarity on who our target client is and who we don't want, who we do want, things along those lines. So for this next part, you're going to be bouncing between all 5 levels. So you're going to be using workbook pages 3 through 7. And you're going to do the name and description on each one. And we're just going to do that really briefly. You have a little bit more detail on that on page 2. Now we just want to move just enough over onto each page so that you can remember who you're looking at when you're looking at each page. And I'll put those examples up again for kind of what I do for my own, for my different names and different descriptions for each one. So this is a pretty simple step. We're just going to move that stuff over. So as you're looking at each sheet, you know which level you're looking at so we can fill in all the details. Everybody, just a couple of minutes to do that. If you guys have any questions as we're going, please drop them in the questions pane. And we'll make sure we get those answered as you're moving through. All right, there we go. Give everybody just a couple of minutes. I need to have like theme music I can just play while everybody's working. All right. Once you get done with that and you have your name and description on each of the different levels, now we want to start looking at the milestones on each level. So again, we're looking at workbook pages 3 through 7. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. And you're looking at the milestones. So in order for somebody to graduate from level 1 to level 2, these are the outcomes that they need to be able to achieve. These are the things that they need to check off before we know that they're in the next stage. This stuff becomes really useful to you when you're building sales pages, when you're doing sales calls, and you start to recognize that, oh, I'm talking to a level 2. I know what you need, right? This is how you start being able to see them, be able to recognize them much faster. And this is when people start to be able to look at you like, how did you know? You always seem to know what I need. You always seem to have an answer to every question. You seem psychic, right? You seem to know exactly what I'm going for. This is what allows us to respond that way. Just like before, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So with my target avatar, going through those 5 phases. Oh, I have a glitch on my slides. Okay, so I kind of mixed examples here. Apologies for that. We'll make it work though. All right, so level 1, they're just getting started. The milestones will be things like understanding entrepreneurship basics, identifying strengths, aligning goals, overcoming initial doubts, and creating a solid business plan, right? Even as they're working towards being a successful freelancer, these are the things that they're going to need to be able to do. Then when they're in that building phase, they're starting to really reassess everything. They're going to have to develop and validate a new business concept. They're going to have to establish or reestablish their online presence, because usually there's a pivot happening in some way, shape, form, or fashion as they're moving from being the main thing their business sells to having products and services that they can staff and scale. They have to start learning how to engage customers in a different level. They've got new avatars. They're working with them with new products and services. So they have to learn how to be able to engage them. They have to be able to manage their time effectively because now they're going to be splitting their attention between a bunch of different things, right? They're rebuilding, redesigning. They still have their existing customers from their freelance business while they're starting to take customers from their new stuff. So there's definitely some time management that they have to be able to get down. When it comes to grow, they have to be able to achieve sustainable growth. So they have to be able to take on new clients without breaking. They have to be able to expand their products and services and start to offer the right kind of things. They have to analyze what's working. So they really have to be paying attention to data and metrics, conversion rates, things along those lines that they probably didn't pay attention to in the beginning. They're going to have to be able to manage their stress a lot more because their business is growing. There's more clients, there's more sales calls, there's more things to take them outside of their comfort zone. And they have to be able to plan strategically for continued success, right? As your business continues to grow and your profit margins are growing and your customers are growing and you're not dealing with 1 or 2 people trying to get a result, you're trying to deal with 10, 20, 30, 40 and get a result. At level 4, again, this is a typo from a previous example, but level 4, they're in that scale phase. So they're going to have to be able to do things like hire and fire staff. They're going to have to be able to install onboarding and offboarding systems. They're going to have to start doing SOPs, project management software, things along those lines. If we don't do those things, they're not going to be able to continue growing. In level 5, when they're in that relax phase, they're going to have to be able to hire and trust and manage CEOs and other high-level decision makers and advisors in their business or businesses. They're going to have to learn about investing. They're going to have to learn about forming successful partnerships, JV partnerships, affiliate partnerships. They're going to be doing a lot more with their time. Whatever their relaxed phase is, maybe that's traveling. They're going to have to learn how to travel more. If it's speaking, they're going to have to put more effort into speaking. If it's writing their book, they're going to be learning about their book. So whatever their stuff is going on in the relaxed phase, that would be some examples of some of the milestones. Okay. Again, these should be pretty clear, pretty straightforward things that they have to be able to check off is what you're looking for in this stage. If you have any questions, just drop them in the questions pane. Now, when we hit the next row, so again, we're still going down and we're detailing out each one of the 5 levels, so workbook pages 3 through 7 for each of the levels. Your next row on each one is your action items. And this is when we're looking at the milestones and we're saying that in order to hit this milestone, these are the steps they're going to need to take. These are the tasks. These are the tacticals. Okay, so like if we look back over here at what we had going for milestones, like we said on level 1 that they need to be able to understand the basics of entrepreneurship. So when we look at action items, we would want to define what those basics actually are. What do they need to understand? Those are the action items. They need to be able to identify strengths. Well, what does that mean? What type of exercises do they specifically need to do? Is there a personality assessment that you recommend? Is there, do you want them to go do 16 personalities or any of those other things that are out there? Is there something that would help you understand that? And like, that's kind of what we're looking at when we're looking at action items. So in my case, like level 1, we would want them to research and understand the different business models. We would want them to document their ideas. They're learning those entrepreneurship basics. We would want to enumerate what those are. We know they need to do research and they need to learn more about stuff. So they need to join forums. They need to learn how to journal their insights. They need to learn how to set effective goals. Like these are the very specific action items that we want them to check off. Now, some of your clients might have some of these same things. So if you've got some overlap, cool. All right, nothing wrong with that. Anybody else love when you're doing a presentation, you have typos in your slides? Great. Absolutely great. That's why you shouldn't tweak them right before you go on. Okay. So as you're looking through these different action items, maybe there's things like business plans. They need to build websites. They need to do social media, especially if you're an agency. There might be very specific things they have to do at these stages. You might need them like at level 1, they may need to be setting up social media pages, social media profiles. They may need to launch their website. They may need to create lead magnets and funnels, learn how to post on social media consistently, start building an email list. Like maybe an action item is you need them to get an email list up to 10,000 people on it or 1,000 people on it. What do you need them to do? What do they need to do? Right? What is going to help them be successful? And it doesn't always have to be directly connected to your products and services. Remember, this is their journey. It's not yours. So they may need to, like, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant, but I know that they're going to need financial software somewhere along the way. They're going to have to set that up. I'm not a project management expert, but I know they're going to need project management software. I'm not an SOP expert. I'm not an automations expert. Like I know how to do a lot of these things, but I'm not the one that they should hire to do it. But I know that they need to do it. So like, you know, they need to be able to plan for automation. They need to be able to build processes. They need to be able to master leaderships. They need to be able to form partnerships. They need to be able to spend time on research and development, on optimization. They have to put CRM systems into place, right? If you're working with entrepreneurs, we know they have to manage staff, they have to manage clients, they have to manage their finances, they have to manage their processes. We know that these things exist. We know it's stuff they're going to have to deal with, even if you're not the one who helps them. So think about a lot of that when you're thinking about your action items. Okay. The next section we're going to deal with on each one of these avatars. So again, workbook pages 3 through 7, each avatar, you're going to want to fill in the skills section. And these are the skills they have to develop. So it's one thing to say that like the action item is they need to be able to set a goal. We need to see them setting and achieving goals. When it comes to the skills, what are the skills they need to learn in order to do that, right? If they're going to be able to set those goals so that they can achieve their milestones, what do they need to learn? So like, for example, in goal setting, we might want them to learn the SMART goal framework or the SMART goal framework if they're ADHD, right? There's a couple of different frameworks out there, but maybe we have a specific one that we like. Maybe we've developed our own and they need to learn that before they can level up. Maybe they need to learn copywriting. If you help somebody be a public speaker, a skill they need to learn is how to get on stage without talking too fast or without sweating through all of their clothes and looking crazy. You know, we have all these different skills that they need to be able to learn at each step to be able to accomplish the action items and achieve the milestones. Okay, so here's some examples again from my avatar. They have to learn how to communicate. They have to learn how to think creatively. They have to be able to set goals. They have to be self-motivated. They have to be adaptable. They have to be resilient. Almost all of your clients are going to have some mindset skills they have to develop as well as some tactical skills they have to develop. There's soft skills around people. There's internal skills around, you know, energy management. Most people, I like to say that most people have 4 energy tanks that they have to manage. We have physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And the goal is to keep those tanks as full as possible at all time. So if somebody is doing something that's draining their emotional tank, they don't have as much to give to their family, to their friends, to their business. And we need to know how to recharge those tanks as well as to keep them from being depleted. Like one small tweak that I make for myself is I use camera software to brighten my environment. The room I'm standing in is so much darker than what you guys can see because I don't like the bright lights. I use software to do it instead because that helps not drain my physical battery. I'm not staring at a bright light the whole time I'm on Zoom calls or presenting at workshops like this. So my clients have to learn some of those same things on what's going to keep them from getting, you know, worn down, what's going to keep their energy going good. They have technical skills they have to learn: marketing, sales, financial management, project planning, legal and ethical awareness. As you're starting to hire people in different countries or hire people from different roles, there's so many different things you have to learn about different laws, even within the US. If you're hiring within the US and you hire across state lines, there's a lot of different things you have to juggle and work with there. So there's just a lot to learn. So these are all skills they have to develop. They have to be able to do market analysis, customer relationship management, professional networking, lead a team, do strategic execution, be able to manage, you know, multiple layers of team members while still, you know, having employees come to you and look up to you. You have to be able to manage customer requests, customer, you know, problems, and balance your work life. You have to be able to get more joy from your personal life than you do from your business, right? That way, as your business starts to grow, you don't go in there and sabotage it because it's where you find all your joy. You know, there's a lot of different skills that people have to be able to develop. And again, some of these are going to be related to what you do and things that you can help them with, and other things are not, okay? And you can use tools like ChatGPT or Claude or a lot of your AI tools to help you think through this stuff in a little bit more detail, a little bit more depth. You kind of have to explain to it what this exercise is so it understands that you're building a multi-level avatar, because it's not something I created. So it's not something that exists out in the world that's not familiar with it. So you do have to explain to it what you're doing, but then it can help you kind of figure out some of these details and think about some things that you might not have thought about, and you can chat with it and kind of go through and get a little bit more insights. Now, the next row that you're going to be working on is the trials. And same thing, workbook pages 3 through 7, we're detailing out each individual level. These are the obstacles that each person will have to conquer before they can level up. And this is where you'll hear a lot of marketing experts tell you that we want to understand the pain so that we can get someone to the other side of it, right? We can meet them where they are and we can get them to where they want to be. So we're looking at the pain points, we're looking at the trials, and we're able to use that to say, like, if this is what you're at, and then we look at the next level up, we say like level 2, this is where you're at level 1, these are the trials you're going through, these are the things in your way, this is where you want to be, level 2, and this is how we're going to be able to help you get there, right? We're going to help you develop these skills. We're going to help you check these things off. We're going to help you do this stuff to get you to that next level. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing in this PAM is really going to feed into a lot of your marketing messaging. It'll give you a lot of the stuff that you need to be able to do better direct response copy, to be able to connect with people on an emotional level, as well as design your products and services specifically to level people up, right? If you're saying, hey, level 1, I can help you be level 2, your products and services are intentionally designed to make that happen. You have specifically said, in order to do that, you need to accomplish these action items, you need to develop these skills, you need to conquer these obstacles. Here's what I can help you with. Here's what my partners can help you with. Here's what my other businesses can help you with. Here's what my affiliate partners can help you with, right? So it doesn't all have to be you, but we're still helping level people up. Okay. Again, here's some examples of some obstacles that you might could use. So things like identifying a viable niche. So who is their who is their target client? We always have mindset gremlins. So obstacles are always going to include some different mindset gremlins. We're always going to have things like self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of how they look on camera, fear of how they sound when they're speaking. We're going to have resource limitations that can happen at different levels. And this can look like money, it can look like time. I talked about earlier how sometimes you may have clients that, you know, have multiple kids, have multiple demands on their time, have spouses, have still working the muggle job, the day job, the boring non-magical job while they're trying to launch their business. And that's going to limit their resources. It's going to limit their time. So when you're sitting here going like, well, I have this course that's only 20 hours, somebody should be able to get through that in a week, no problem. But you're selling it to people who have a day job, who are trying to launch their business on the side, who have like 4 kids running around and have a family that they're trying to manage. And this is something that they're trying to get off the ground. And you're like, well, why weren't you able to do that in at least 2 weeks? Why did it take you 6 weeks to do 20 hours of coursework, right? We weren't looking at who the who is and what's going on, what their resources are, then we don't see that, okay? We also have to deal with things like anxiety or uncertainty. In my case, they might not know who their who is. They might be bad at managing their money. Maybe they're making money, but they're bad at budgeting it. They're bad at understanding their profit margins. They're not managing their time well, so everything's taking too long. And, you know, maybe they're having, you know, trouble establishing that first base of customers, those first 10 profitable customers. Maybe they're struggling to get the right business tools in place. Those are things that are going to be challenging. They have a lot of technology they have to learn. They have a higher workload. Like whenever you step into somebody's world and you're trying to fix something for them, initially you're generally going to create more work, right? They have more time they have to put in before they can start saving time. You're going to have to learn things. They're going to have to give you stuff. They're going to have to answer questions, and they're going to have to get through all of that and before they can even, you know, help you or get the benefit from it. They may have things going on in the market. So if your target client has consistent market changes that are outside of their control, I know like real estate is reeling right now because of some major changes that are coming down the pipeline for stuff that they have to deal with. If you've got, you know, anybody in the financial sector, financial advising, that kind of stuff is changing all of the time, different rules, regulations, returns. So if they have any type of like market that changes on them on a regular basis, that's a problem. If you're dealing with people who have kids, right, they have back to school, they have schools out for the summer, they have all of these like holidays and things that happen throughout the year that completely derails their life and changes their schedule up. So lots of things they have to deal with, succession planning as they get higher along. Like if you're working with any type of entrepreneur, we know one obstacle they're gonna have to deal with is succession planning, okay? As their business starts to succeed, as they start, you know, spending less time in it, they're gonna have to find new purpose from somewhere else. Because when they can't get the purpose from somewhere else, they sabotage the business. And they have to learn how to be like long-term thinkers, right? So a lot of times people are very, very reactionary decision makers. They're like, I checked my bank balance today and I don't like it, so now I'm gonna go do a bunch of stuff instead of like sticking to it, staying the path, continuing to figure out, you know, troubleshoot, make it work. We're not talking about like sunk cost bias, like you put the money and the time into this, you need to get the money back from it. We're talking about panicking and not giving something enough time to work and launching something else. Okay, which is slightly different, similar, but slightly different, different outcomes, different results. Okay, so that should be our trial section. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the questions box and I'll answer them as we go or at the end. All right, now we're looking at the next row, which is expertise. And this is where it starts to become a little bit more about you and a little bit less about them. But we're still looking at who they are and what they need, but what do you have? What expertise, what assets, what partnerships, like what do you bring to the table? This person is sitting here trying to go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4 to level 5, and they need someone to help them. They need someone to come along and help them get this done. What do you bring that's going to help them go faster, easier, or more successfully? Or said another way, without you and what you bring to the table, going from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4 to level 5 is going to be slower, it's going to be harder, and they're not as likely to do as good of a job with it, right? Remember, we are looking for people who have the ability and the motivation to make it to level 4 or 5. They will get there with or without you. You are not pivotal to their journey. They have the determination to do it. But with you, it's faster, easier, and more successful. With you, they don't move as slow. It's not as hard, and it will work way better, right? Like that's kind of what we're looking at. So like some things that I bring to the table, right? Initial business ideation. So I really help people brainstorm, think about things in a different way, solve problems in a unique way that they might not have thought about. We're not following what all the bros tell you to do. We're coming up with innovative ideas based on the customers. We're transitioning those ideas into business concepts like products and services and websites and worksheets and webinars and books and all the different things that they need to put out there. I've had 18 years of experience in web design, marketing, web development. I've got over 50 different certifications that I bring to the table. Got experience in branding, marketing, all of it. I've grown and built teams. I've helped other people grow and build teams. I've helped other people market their stuff, become mentors and thought leaders. I've helped people build presentations for stages. I've got, frameworks that nobody's ever seen before as a business designer, especially a neurodivergent one. My brain does things that other people's brains don't do, right? So it helps me think a little differently and work a little bit differently. I've helped people build a legacy. I've built my own. I've inherited a legacy from other people. Like I've done so much stuff in those realms. So think about all this kind of stuff. I'm summarizing it on all the stuff, but think about everything that you bring to the table. Think about the partnerships that you built, right? Like one of the things that I've done is a mentor network at one of my businesses over at the Neurospasticity Academy. I have a network of mentors because I know that I can't answer all the questions, but I know what they are because I've done this exercise. I know who else you need, right? So I've grouped them all together and I've created a mentor, group that guides and advises and leads and creates resources and trainings and helps people go across all of these things. Like some of my mentors are the ones that I've shared examples from earlier in this presentation. So think about not only what you personally bring to the table, but what connections, what resources, what access, what doors can you open? Moving into the next box, again, workbook pages 3 through 7. For every single level, we want to look at the resources, okay? Now, this becomes your partner shopping list. A lot of the other stuff has kind of surfaced up some ideas. It's, maybe inspired you in a few different ways, but this is really where your shopping list comes from because these are the tools and the people that they're going to use to level up with or without you. Like I said, if you're working with a business owner, we know that they need a bookkeeper. We know they need an accountant. And if they haven't hired a bookkeeper and accountant yet, we know they're going to need bookkeeping and accounting software. We know they're going to be trying to use it themselves. We know they're going to be buying courses and books. There's going to be specific books and courses that you see over and over and over again with your clients. And if you start noticing those trends, then you can speak to that, right? You can create articles on like the top 10 things that you learned from XYZ book that all of your clients seem to be buying. And you can get their attention that way. You can go guest post. Like if we know that almost everybody's going to end up using things like QuickBooks or Xero or Gusto for managing staff, you could see about guest posting on some of their stuff. You can do reviews and roundups on their tools. You can get someone else who is a Gusto expert or a QuickBooks expert to come and like interview them for a podcast or interview them for a blog article Or, host a summit where you bring together 5 or 6 different people that they need and have everybody teach like the fundamentals of XYZ that your client needs to know. And there's so many ways that you can leverage these other relationships to help someone, again, level up from like 1 to 2, and you can tie it all back together. You can say like, hey, if this is where you're at, if you're level 1 and you want to be a level 2, we wouldn't use that language because they don't know what level 1, level 2 means, but looking at your name, your descriptions, your milestones, like you can pull in and get your messaging. If you're trying to go from here to here, come to this summit, read this article, let me share with you some insights from XYZ that's going to help you do this. So that becomes your partner shopping list. You can also stitch together multiple businesses that you own. So like I solve a lot of these same problems for leveling people up across 4 different businesses that I own, as well as a mentor and partner shopping list that is, I think we've got about 20, 30 mentors on it at this point that all specialize in different industries. Because I use this as my shopping list and I went and hunted those people down. And I said like, hey, I want to do something with you. Let's figure out what it is. And it can really be that simple. I know as you're starting to reach out to people after this and you're like, hey, I want to partner with you. You can literally say like, hey, we share the same clients. I think I would like to talk to you a little bit more. I'd like to interview you and share some insights, and you can see how it goes. And if you like it, you can say like, hey, I really like you. I think both of our clients need you. Like your clients need me and my clients need you. What could we do together? Right? It doesn't have to be big and formal. You can host a little like webinar. We're doing it right now. We're demonstrating it right now. And Groove brought me in to talk to you guys. Okay. Give you some more examples here. So we've got things like online classes, books, webinars, meetups. Now, if you have specific ones, if you know that your target clients are going to specific books, specific forums, specific meetups, specific events, then put that in there. If you know that most of your clients are interested in certain softwares, mention the specific software. We know they're going to do things like they're going to have to touch technology. If they're an entrepreneur, we know they're going to have to do things like websites, social media, email marketing. They're going to be touching all that, even if it's not something you help them with. They're going to see other people talking about things like running ads. They're going to need different software to manage their business, manage their operations. They're going to be hiring coaches and mentors. They're going to be looking for startup finance resources, so they may be seeking funding. They're going to be like getting into different levels of complexity when it comes to their marketing, like everything from really complex funnels and things along those lines, stuff like you can build with Groove software, like lots of fun stuff you can do there, all the way to like just getting started with like a basic website builder or just learning how to post on social media. Forget like making videos and learning how to edit them all, just posting. They might be hiring, managing staff, doing strategic planning, legal and compliance. We know that people are going to have to do attorneys. We know they're going to have to form legal business entities. We know they're going to have to do bookkeeping and accounting. We know they're going to have to pay attention to industry reports and innovation trends. Especially when they get to the relaxed stage, they're going to have to be able to like, find other people that think like them, that do what they do. They're going to be participating in networking events. They're going to be like, I know that my entrepreneurs, as they're doing legacy building, are going to be looking into trust and IRAs and all of these ways to shelter their money and to pass it down to their, they're concerned about their legacy, so they're going to pass it down to somebody else. Okay, so those are all different types of resources, and this really becomes a very, very useful shopping list. You can start to generate a lot of money very simply by solving problems for your customers. This one is my favorite, and last time I got asked what yeet is, so I don't know if that's like a millennial thing or like a Southern millennial thing, I don't know, but yeet basically means like out, throw away, yeet it away, get it away from you. What we're looking at here, again, workbook pages 3 through 7, we're still building out each of these avatars in a little bit more detail. What we're looking at here is what we can't or won't help someone at this level if they have these traits, if they have this mindset, or this lack of resources. Now, we know if they don't have the interest in leveling up to hit at least level 4, ideally level 5, that they're not a good fit client for us. If they don't have the ability, the mindset, the dream, the goals, the resources to make it to that level, we don't want them, okay? So that's an easy one. But to give you a few more, it could be values. You may have like very differing values, and that may mean that you can't help someone or you're not the best fit, okay? Now, this is a very selfish area where we get to say who we want, who we don't want in our life, right? So this is one way that we can do that, but it's also a way to continue to put our customers first, because like if they're building a business that we can't support, if they're doing something that we morally or from our values disagree with, we're not the best resource to help them do that. So it's in their best interest as well as ours to say no. Okay. They may have unrealistic expectations. So they're thinking, I can give you $100 a month and I can get $1,000 worth of value from you. That's not realistic. Or they may think that, okay, I want this and I want to get it done in 2 weeks. And you're like, maybe in like 9 months. There's no way we can do this in 2 weeks. So if they have very unrealistic expectations, that can be one. For me, I'm looking for people who will balance their personal life and their family life with their business a little bit more, because we don't want them getting all their happiness from their business. It's bad when that happens. Like I've said a few times now, if all of your joy comes from your business, you will sabotage it, you will break it, because you're going to get bored. A successful business is boring. It's very routine. It's very good at doing things. And there's a tiny little bubble where you get to innovate and be creative. But for the most part, you need to leave this machine alone when it grows. So if you're not getting joy and satisfaction and fulfillment outside of your business, you're going to break your business. So that's really important for me. If you have no hobbies, no personal time, that's a out. We have to at least see you have an interest in getting back to having personal time if you don't have it now. They may be like very unclear on the payment terms. They may disagree with you on the payment terms. They may be a high financial risk. Like you've got an expensive service, they're going to put it on credit cards, take out loans, and they can make that work for like a month or two, but then it's going to be a challenge. That's too much risk for most people. They might not be committed to it. They're like, well, I'll try it for a couple months, instead of like, yeah, I think this would work for me. Okay. They may be unwilling to collaborate with you. They may be expecting you to either do it all, or they may be micromanaging. I don't like either one of those. There may be a high risk of burnout, like they're working a day job at 60 hours a week, got a bunch of kids, and they're trying to do this in, with like 5 hours a week on no sleep. Not a great fit. They might be bad at communicating. They might have very unclear objectives. They might not, show you respect or professionalism. They might not look up to you. We oftentimes will say that they're uncoachable, for example. So they're people who just don't want to listen to you. They won't give you feedback. They're either, just being like, okay, yeah, then not doing it and just agreeing with you on the calls and not taking action. That could be one. They might be somebody who is coloring outside the lines in their particular industry and expecting you to help them do that. And that may be something that you don't want. They might not be aligned with the ability to become a 4 or 5. That's a big one. They might not have the potential to even do that. Right? The thing that they're trying to hit is never going to be very successful. The thing that they're shooting for is never going to be very successful. They've got the wrong product, the wrong client, the wrong something. It could be a cultural misfit and not really, aligned with what you want to do. Like maybe you lead a very relaxed company. You never want emergencies. You don't want somebody who's going to email you every other day with this big emergency coming on. So that can be like a big misfit. Maybe you like the adrenaline, the emergencies. You like it when, it's like, all right, cool, let's capitalize on an opportunity and launch a campaign in 48 hours. That could be your business model, whatever you like doing. Okay? I don't want people that compromise their personal well-being. If you're putting yourself in the back seat, if you're like, well, I'll worry about exercising later when I have time. We're not putting off being happy and healthy until later. We have to do that now. That's going to improve your business. Okay, so these are all types of reasons why you might work with somebody, and I'm sure you've got some of your own. If you haven't had clients before, you can kind of imagine from like relationships or things you've had in the past, jobs you've had in the past. If you have clients, you've probably had some bad clients and you've had some good clients. So you can look at who your good clients are and what you liked, and then what the inverse of that would be, what the flip would be, the negative. And with that, you have all of your levels of avatar. You have full visibility into 100% of your client's lifestyle journey. You can see what is going on, what they need to do, when they're going to be a bad fit, what you bring to the table, who all they're using. So you have your partnerships, and you can start to brainstorm your product. So I gave you a notes sheet at the very end of your workbook. And this is a place for you to just thought vomit your products, free or paid. Now, I call everything a product, a service, a lead magnet. I call it all a product because somebody is buying it. They're either buying it with their name and email address, their contact information. They're buying it with physical money. They're buying it with their time. And your promise to them is, if you give me this time, this money, your contact information, whatever you've asked for, if you give me this, I will help you in this way get to where you're trying to go faster, easier, and with a greater chance of success. This includes your lead magnets. So like if you have a little DIY freebie, you have a little ebook, a little checklist to help them accomplish something, that should still be treated with the same level of care and respect and thought and planning that you would do for a coaching service or for a marketing package or whatever it is you're selling to somebody, because your goal is to help guide them and help them level up faster, easier, greater chance of success. Now, not every product is going to take them from level 1 to level 2, right? Like you might not take them a full level, you might just take them part of the way. So like you might go from 1 to like 1.2, 1.3, because you help them solve some of the problems with this one ebook or with this one workshop or with this one webinar or one course or one product or audit or whatever it is that you're selling to them. You can move them a little bit forward. And then you can start to stack those products and services in order to help achieve greater levels of success. So you can say like, I can help you get from like 1 to 1.3 by raising some awareness, helping you accomplish a few things. Then I want you to go hire my partner to get from 1.3 to 2. Then when you get to 2, I can take you in my membership program and do this, that, and the other. Okay. Now I'm going to give you just a big list of products that you can brainstorm, and you can look through these and you can put on your notes if any of these sound like they make sense, if any of these sound like they would work for you, and which levels they would work for. Now, you can have products that span multiple levels. Like, for example, at the NeuroSpicy Academy, my online business school, we cover all 5 levels, but we have paid attention to each level, right? Like, we focus on the individual levels and we say, like, if you're a level 1, this is what you need. If you're a level 2, this is what you need. And we help you work through it. So even if you're covering multiple different levels of your avatar inside of one program, you still need to make sure that you're meeting the needs and leveling them up and not just saying like, well, this will work for everybody. You still have to level them up. You still have that responsibility to take them from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 or whatever you're promising inside of that. Okay. I'm not going to read all these to you. That would be very boring. But pretty much every product or service that you can imagine that you have seen will fit here, and you want to think about how it fits. Like if we do a case study for level 1, how is that going to help move them forward? If we do a mentorship program or build marketing campaigns for a level 2, what is that going to look like? If we build a website for a level 2, how is that going to help them hit level 3? Okay, and then once you've done all this work, your mission is to pick one, okay? Now, what we wanted to do, I know originally we said that right now you're living in this 20%, you're living in this one level, and I wanted to give you visibility into all 5, and we've done that, but now you have to get really good at helping one. You have to get really, really good. So like say you pick level 2 is the one you want to start with. You get really good at turning 2s into 3s. Your products, your services, your customer support, your partnerships, everything, get really good at helping 2s be 3s. Then you can expand because now you have a bank of 3s who you're talking to, who you've helped level up, who trust you, who look to you for support and guidance, and they're ready for you to help them go from 3 to 4, so on and so forth. Now you have a group of 4s, take them to 5s. And initially you can partner with other people. So like if you know that once they get to 3, you're not ready, go partner with somebody else who can get them from 3 to 4. Send them over to somebody else once they hit 3. You can be like, yay, you've graduated. Now I know what you need next. Let me introduce you to so-and-so. Okay, so you're gonna focus on one and level them up, and then you're gonna expand over time. And for most people, it could take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to be able to serve all 5 levels. By the time you've built the businesses, the partnerships, have the investments, have what you need to help someone go all 5 levels, it could take you a long time. And there may be some levels that you personally never touch. Okay. Now, do you see the potential in what Pam can help you achieve? Drop it over in the questions. Did this help you? And then I have a couple of offers to make for you. So Groove negotiated with me on your behalf to give you 10 weeks free at my online business school at the Academy. So you'll save 20% on your first year. And then if you join before Sunday at midnight, I'm going to invite you to an exclusive session with our mentors where you can get a live onboarding. We can answer all of your questions and help you get started really fast. We're all going to come on campus together and help you out. At the Academy, we have a community of misfit entrepreneurs just like you who are trying to do this thing, who have their you know, Pam's built out and they're trying to figure out how to do these partnerships, how to launch these products, what products need launched, and they're trying to assemble it all and put it all together. We have a virtual campus that you can actually walk around on, come and meet people. You can go sit on campus and work with somebody else. So if you're doing an exercise and somebody else is doing an exercise, y'all can work together on it. We have students that go and just, we call it body doubling or parallel play. They'll go just work together just to have somebody else so you're not alone. Right, they'll come on there for our mentors when we do Q&A parties. We have live events happening on campus all the time, so you can use that. We have a network of various mentors that can help you. One of them's, you know, actually I think a couple of them are over here in this presentation right now. I know I just saw Melanie commenting and popping in. She's our mindset coach. We have a fractional COO. We have me as a business designer. We're bringing on a lot of other mentors as well. All of our courses are very ADHD friendly, meaning that they're in all the different formats. We've got video, we've got written, we've got worksheets, we've got, you know, audio, we've got captions. You can speed things up, slow things down. Tons of tools and templates to help you work faster as you're going through and implementing all of this stuff that we're teaching you. And then I'm going to give you another really special bonus as well. So even if you don't join the Academy now, like I hope you will, I hope I'll see you there. But even if you don't join the Academy, if you send me your PAM workbook, I'll review it and I'll send you back a video and my feedback and suggestions to make sure that you've got this down before you start building out all of your businesses, all of your partnerships, all of your investments around this avatar. We want to make sure that you've got it dialed in. Yay, Victoria's here as well. Yeah, she just dropped a comment. Victoria is our fractional COO and expert of people systems. So she's one of the other mentors. So there we go. Does anybody have any questions for me? What do you guys think? Any questions, any thoughts, anything? I think we wrapped up almost exactly down to the minute on time.
Well, I was sitting there in the background taking notes, and I was not lying when I was super proud of everybody for choosing to be here, gaining the benefit that Christina was able to share with them. And I can't wait to share the replay to the people that didn't get to attend this live so that they can tap into this, because this is the game changing. This is leveling up in a way that most people aren't aware of, most people don't talk about, most people don't put effort into. But as you saw today, it's so powerful. You may hear, I live at a turn on the mountain. It's like this. So if any large trucks lay on the horn before they come to this turn, then my window is open. So there you have it. Welcome to St. Thomas. Yes. So I'm thankful, Christina, that you were able to share this with the Groovesters. For all of you here, take advantage of this generous offer that she's sharing with you. Like she said, I'll review your PAM workbook. So there you have it. Not only did you do the work, but you probably have some work you want to continue after this is over, but then you can take her up on taking a look at it, and she'll give you some feedback that, as you witnessed, will be super powerful and transformational for you. So go to the link in the chat, grooveover.to/NSA. All the details are there for all the amazing things that she has shared with you, and the offers that she has available for you with the special pricing that she gracefully extended to you as a Groovester. So these are not the normal prices. I mean, you can go pay her normal prices if you want, but she literally loves working with Mike, loves working with you as a Groovester, and offered that for you. So go to grooveover.to/NSA. The link is in the chat. You can see all the downloads that are available, all the different amazing offers that are available for you. Review that and select the ones that you feel are best for your next step. Christina, I am so thankful that you took some time out of your busy day and week to come here to share this powerful information with the Groovesters. And I know for those that were fortunate to be here live, to ask their questions live, that was an added value. But you watching the replay are also going to want to review this and go through it probably a couple times, because as you witnessed, it is game changing. So thank you so much, Christina. On behalf of Mike, Groove, and all the Groovesters, we appreciate you, your expertise, and the heart that you bring to the work that you shared today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And I talked enough to see if there are any other questions that came in. There were none that came in. So apparently you did an amazing job and answered all the questions so far. If you're still here and haven't done so yet, go to the link in the chat, grooveover.to/NSA. Massive amount of value there with special Groove only offers that she has available for you there. So any other closing thoughts, Christina?
No, I mean, definitely do the work, keep this updated. It's not going to be perfect out of the gate. As you go to start implementing this and start talking to your clients and talking to humans more, you're going to learn more. You're going to get more insights. It's not just going to be your thought vomit, it's going to be what they're telling you. So make sure you keep this up to date and it is a living document that you use daily.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Have an awesome rest of the day. Thank you, Grousers. Keep working this and go to the URL on the screen and in the chat, grooveover.to/NSA. Access all the value and special offers that Christina put together for you. And until next time, make today great. Thanks, Christina. Bye for now.
Thank you.